or I'm a bit confused. Do we get to see something so we can see where we are? Can we look in Facebook and see if there's comments?
Yeah, but do that there though.
Oh, don't. So I can't do the comments.
Oh, actually.
Can see where we are? Can we look in Facebook and see if there's comments?
Yeah, but hello everyone.
Oh, wait, this is... Oh, don't. So I can't do the comments.
Oh, actually. We can hear ourselves.
Can see where we are? Okay, stop. Oh.
Sorry, everyone watching.
Maybe you can explain what's going on.
All right, so welcome everyone. We had some trouble with Facebook. It kept kicking us off our live. So we're trying to do it through a third-party tool. We're here now, so we want to share with you today a tool that we bring into so many coaching conversations we have with mothers we work with.
I'll take over this bit.
Okay,
you do the techie bit. Sorry, all new technology this morning. Yeah, we wanted to talk about a tool that we use. This feels a bit, can I see what we're... Yeah, that would be better. Okay, that'll do that. Hello. This is a tool that we often bring to a lot of our coaching clients, and it occurred to us today that it would be a really powerful one to bring to all of you here on our page. So a lot of the time we're thinking about, we have a value that connection is really high, and understanding and meeting our children's needs. They're really high values for us every day. And we have a lot on our plates. There's so much stuff going on that it can seem like, oh, am I really meeting everyone's needs today? Or what should I be doing next? It's like we're constantly running from one child to the next. And sometimes we just forget about ourselves in the picture and our partners, where they just have to fend for themselves. And it can feel like there's not enough time in the day to actually meet everyone's needs and our desire for connection with all of them.
Hello, Christine.
This is very confusing.
We can't see your comments up there.
Sorry about that, but we are here. Hi, Christine. Ask away a question because we can see them on the other screen. So what do you do about that? The problem is a lot of the time we're coming from our heads on all of this. Like we're logistically holding to-do lists in our heads. We're asking, oh, where's my child at? What do they need? Do they need stuff right now? Like it's a very heady process. Today we're going to give you another way to work out in the moment who needs what when. Using our understanding of energy. And so this tool that we teach is called the Family Sweep. It's a really popular tool, especially if you have more than one child. Like, do you remember when we first started teaching this, the mothers with like 4 or 5 children were like, oh my God.
and one of the really amazing, one of the reasons why it's so powerful, and one of the kind of assumptions that is underneath it, is that your family is all so interconnected. And by tuning into where the energy needs to go and filling up that one part that's most depleted, you actually benefit the whole. That you fill up everyone by filling up parts of your family, which will make sense when we go into it.
Yeah. So this process is an energetic process, and Kaya's going to take you. Oh, do you want me to, or you can? You can.
Okay.
Either of us could, but Kaya's going to do it. We're going to take you through it now in the moment, so you can do it in real time with us here. And you can ask questions if there's something that comes up. You can ask questions on replay too. We'll get back to you. But basically what we're doing is we're tapping in using our intuition, and that doesn't have to be a scary, complicated process. We just feel into the energy present in all our family members. And we've kind of created this process with the guided visualization to make it easy for you to do. But essentially what we're doing is we're feeling into the energy in our family as a whole. We call it the soul of the family, the unit in your family. And we're tapping into where's everyone at with their energy. And we're looking at 2 things in this process. We're looking at whose cup is the emptiest in terms of they're feeling depleted, they're feeling like they're empty, they've got unmet needs, that sort of thing.
They're disconnected from themselves and each other.
Yeah. So who's in the saddest spot at the moment in the family, who needs some extra attention?
Sometimes it's interesting doing it like this, because it ends up being not the person who you expect it to be. because you're looking beyond like the well, what makes sense into what's really going on underneath.
Yeah. And another thing that's important to mention with that first bit is occasionally, well, sometimes more than occasionally, but sometimes the person that's the emptiest when you do the sweep is you. And to fill up the person in your family, in the interconnected web that makes up the soul of your family, filling that person up benefits the whole. Benefits everyone. And you know how that works, even if it's not you, if it's one child or your partner who's really flattened down, that affects the energy of your whole family. It's the same with you too. If you're really depleted, it will absolutely affect the rest of the family. So that's the first piece we look for in this process. And the second one we look at is connection. And we look at how connected do you feel to each of these different energies, these different people in your family, and work out in this moment, like today, for example, who do you really need to reach out and make some special connection with? Who's the person who could benefit the most in terms of your bonds together? So they're related, but they're two separate things. Yeah. So once you've got that information, then you can move forwards with a lot of clarity. Instead of being all up in your head and freaking out who needs what everywhere, I've got to read to this child, I've got to bath this child, I've got to make sure this child gets out.
And always trying to hold them all at once. You can just let go and go trust and go, well, everybody else will be okay. I'm just going to spend my energy and time for now on this one person, which sometimes is you.
Yeah, and it is a for now process. So sometimes you might only do this once a day. You know, a great time to do this is in the, I used to like to do this when I was cooking dinner, because that was like, okay, so if there was one thing I was going to try to achieve before bedtime, like that was this energy, for the soul of my family, what would it be? So you might just do it once a day, or if you want to, you can do it as a moment to moment. You can do it a couple of times across the day. It's like, okay, tune in again. Who's next? Rather than everyone now, tune into the energy, read the currents, the energy of your family, and move from that space first.
Yeah.
Should we do it?
Yeah.
We don't have any questions so far that I can see.
No, go for it. So you can do this with your eyes closed or open. But tune into, like, imagine you and your family kind of in a little ring. You're all together. Each of you is together in a whole, like there's a container that holds all of you, but you're also all your own separate entities. So one at a time, I'm going to take you through being present to each person in your family, and you can use your imagination for this and trust what comes. Every single time we've done this with women, they just know the answers, because our bodies and our spirits, we know, like we're so much more tapped in than we realize. So first, bring your awareness to someone in your family, be it a partner or one of your children, and feel their energy, their essence in this circle in your family. And imagine that they have a bowl, that they're represented by a bowl, or they have a bowl in front of them. And this bowl represents how topped up they are, how full they are, how full of life they are. So get a feel first for their bowl and their energy. It might have a color, it might have a flavor, like a temperature. Just get a feel for them. Trust what it looks like, what it feels like.
So you can notice how full the bowl looks when you peer into it. You can actually even put your hands inside the bowl and feel it.
Yeah. And that's what we're doing specifically, is notice how full the bowl is, like the liquid or whatever it is, the life force that's inside it, how far up the bowl that comes. And it will be different for each person in your family. So just notice how full it is. Is it right up full to the top? Is there just a tiny bit in the bottom? Is it halfway full? There's nothing you have to do with it at the moment. Just notice it. And then imagine that between you and this person, or the bowl that represents them, is a cord. And the cord represents the connection between you and them. And notice how strong that is at the moment and what it feels like. Like, is that cord clear? Is there anything obstructing it? What's it made from? Does it feel really solid? Does it have energy moving through it? Or is it frayed? Is it falling apart? Or even sometimes is the cord disconnected fully? So just notice the strength and the quality of that cord between you and that person.
And go with your imagination here. If you think you're making this up, that's perfectly valid. Imagination is a very valid, intuitive communication tool.
It is. It tells you so much. Yeah. So that person is still there, but just move on to the next person in your family. So I don't know how many people are in your family. So if you have more than what I take you through, then you just continue on. If you have less, then you wait for me. But the next person, a partner or a child, feel for their energy. What's the color of their bowl? What's the temperature? What does it feel like?
How full is it?
Notice how full it is. And that's like something that we'll come back to at the end. Just notice the level that their life force is filled up in the bowl. And then again, notice the cord that comes between you and them, and how strong is it? How connected is it right now? Just notice it. What's the flavor of it? And then also see the cord that comes between them and the other person who you just connected with. Notice how strong that cord is at the moment, what that connection feels like. And again, do the same if you have anybody else who's not you in your family. Tune into them, how full their bowl is, what's the colour of the liquid in their bowl, the temperature. And also the cord between you and them, and the cords between them and the others in your family. Just notice, track, pay attention to what it is.
And this information comes pretty quickly. Like it's not like a heady process, just a feeling.
Yeah, it's immediately there when you ask, when you tune in.
So go through everyone else in your family.
And then bring yourself in. So you also have a bowl and an energy. Notice your colour, notice what your bowl feels like. And then tune into how full your bowl is. How full is it right now? And how full it is always changes, but how full is it in this moment? And now being aware of all of these bowls with cords between them, representing the soul of your family, notice which one is the emptiest, which one is the most depleted in this moment. It could be you, it could be any one of your children or your partner if you have a partner, but just notice which is the most depleted. And notice which threads or cords between people feel the least connected and feel the most frayed. Take note of that information.
So you can work with that information in a lot of ways. You might choose to just focus on the cords, the connection cords between you and other members in your family. Or you may notice that your partner and a child are struggling a little bit on the connection cord, or even two siblings could use a bit of bonding time. Just look at the information that you've just intuited, that you've just felt into, to get an idea. And there's so much information out of that process we just took you through. You could have a whole week's plan out of what we just did. Don't overload yourself. So simplify.
And it means that going forwards from now, you can choose, if it feels like your energy is pulled in so many directions and you want to be there for everyone, you can choose for now to just go to the person who's most depleted.
Yeah.
And if it's you, take time for yourself.
Yep.
And next week, we are going to take you through some teachings,
Forgot what we were going to do.
on when there is a relationship with someone else in your family, whether it be a child or your partner, that feels really disconnected, or it feels like
the connection's not where you want it to be.
Yeah, and it feels like maybe it has been for a while. We're going to talk about how to repair that, and how ways to really nurture that connection, and also
create
really
those
fill
bonds.
that person up.
Yeah. So we're going to deep dive in that next week in the live on this page.
Yes.
But for now, you will have, in fact, if you want to, pick the person who's the most depleted, or pick the cord that feels the most fragile. Whichever one. Let's just simplify for a second. Pick whichever one feels good. And I want you to imagine that you're putting your hands in the bowl, or you're holding the cord. I want you to make contact in your imagination with it. And I want you to allow one idea to bubble up that would support either the connection or the filling up of the person. What's one idea that just bubbles to you? You don't have to, it's not a mental thing. It's going to rise from within you. What's the one thing you could do that would support this connection or this person? Just allow that to bubble up and go with that. There's your next to-do item for your day. That's it.
And we promise that it supports the whole family. It benefits everyone.
Yeah.
Because the more you nurture one cup, they're all connected, the more everybody is filled up.
We don't really talk much about the soul of the family here on this live, but the soul of the family is the unique energetic signature of your immediate family. All of you have an energetic resonance and a flavor to you, and it does shift, but you've kind of all got a home core vibe that you give off. And your family all live together and come together and weave together, interconnected, and your family unit has a very unique resonance and flavor too, and is unique, completely unique in the world, your family. And we call that the soul of the family. And all of the energies, if you think of energy as like water, because it often behaves a lot like water, they all blend and merge into each other all the time. And so the whole health of your whole family is made up of the health of the individuals that are all feeding the energy, if that makes sense what we're saying. And this sweep starts to work all of that together. So without knowing all the theory behind it, just start playing with this sweep where you just check in. It's an inner process for you. Where is their energy? Where is their life force? And look at those threads of connection. Where are the ones that could use a little bit of topping up? And that will simplify so much the overwhelm. Just take it one step at a time. And we'll dive into how to really power boost the connections between everyone and topping up next live.
Yeah. And the live after, how to really top yourself up.
If you're the empty one, because often you are. Often it's sometimes it's a child, but you know what? Often I think when I do this with people, it's either the woman or the partner. Often a partner is seriously depleted, or in the connection is not that great, a little bit on the outer. So just notice what it is for you and your family at the moment. And now you're starting to play with understanding the energy of your family. And that is a very powerful place to start. That's the foundation. That's like underneath all the strategy and all the mental stuff you put on top. Come down where it's simpler. Feel into it and work at that level and watch it just ripple out everywhere. Yeah. I think that's it.
Yeah. Enjoy.
See you next week.